We have a whole bunch of important updates for you today. We have updates on what's going on down in Texas after Hurricane Beryl hit it yesterday. We have power outages as well as updates on that. We have crop ratings now dropping across the United States as farmers are battling heat, wind, and hail across the United States. We have the specifics for you. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Capitol locked down after a series of bomb threats from, well, let's just let you guess who did the doing. Also, we had a fireworks display with large crowds and everything like that in Harrisburg canceled in a separate incident after gunmen start attacking the crowd with explosives. We got a lot of reports and a whole bunch of updates coming from you guys from all over. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates, your reports that you guys are sending in from all over the United States, keeping us informed about what's going on out there and what you're seeing on the ground. Please do keep your updates coming in. If you have an update to share, just put a comment on this video or any video on this channel, and make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people who have retirement accounts. They have the prepper bars. They've put these things out for us. Fantastic opportunity there too. So if you want to talk about prepper bars, or if you want to talk about your IRA or 401k and what you can do with it in order to get into physical metals, you can talk to Jonathan and his team. There'll be a link at the end of the video, but also you can always find their phone number down in the description. All right, so we have Hurricane Beryl has made landfall with 2.7 million people without power at its peak, but we're still seeing approximately 2.4 million out of power as of midnight last night. So serious continuing impacts going on. 2 people are known to have perished in the storm, and lots of destruction to physical property, lots of flooding, and shipping has been interrupted as well. Sweet and spicy one shares hailstorm destroys millions of U.S. corn and soybean bushels. And, well, that just kind of, let's hear it from the U.S. Department of Agriculture here. Their crop ratings have been edited down again this past week as farmers battle heat, wind, and hail. The amount of corn currently in good or excellent condition is 72%, while the crop in poor and fair condition is 27%. So we have that going up 2% and the good and excellent condition dropping 2%. Soybeans saw a similar trend with 70% in good and excellent condition, down from 72% last week. Now, when we start talking about 2% dropping in condition of crops in the United States, when we're talking about corn and soybean, we are one of the leading countries when it comes to soybeans and one of the leading countries when it comes to corn. We might actually be number one on the corn scale. We're like one and 2 or something like that on both those. I don't know off the top of my head, but we're one of the biggest producers, right? So when we see a 2% swing, like, is 2% of the world just gonna not eat? I mean, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. We're talking about big numbers here. Now, I know it's felt first in the poorest countries, and I know that there's a lot of this that goes to animals and stuff like that, and so you can just send less to animals and people can consume these things directly more, and the calories are used more efficiently, and so there's give and play in the system. But the fact is that we are seeing significant downgrades of crops inside the United States. For farmers in South Dakota and Minnesota, this is the result of serious flooding. We also have droughts hitting certain areas of the country as well. A bit further south, the crops in Nebraska have seen massive hail. That's what we're talking about, what the report was about. Also, I want to throw in here an important update. One of the most undecided countries for World War III is India, right? We kind of see them kind of wavering back and forth which team they're going to play for. Are they going to play for Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea? Or are they going to play for, like, NATO and the United States team? Or are they just going to sit this whole thing out? Well, this just yesterday, Prime Minister Modi of India decided to fly to Moscow. So that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign right there. Because Prime Minister Modi came and visited President Biden. Oh, wait, no, he didn't do that. He went to Moscow. India, of course, like I said, can swing both ways. It's in the Brics alliance, yes. It's the I in Brics, right? But on the other hand, they kind of get into shooting wars with China. And so there's kind of like, they don't really like China, they really hate China, but on the other side of things, they don't really play ball with the United States, and they buy most of their weapons from Russia. So which team will they play for? And with the largest population in the entire world, it's kind of important which side they choose for World War III, for sure. I mean, okay, they may not train their troops the very, very best, but the simple fact is, like, if they're on the United States team, they can just send their troops to the United States to be trained before they then get deployed on the battlefield. You know, I mean, stuff like that. So just having a significant population is kind of a big deal, right? Whereas the United States doesn't know how to populate anymore because people don't know, you know, what sticks where anymore, because our culture has completely lost its way. Most third world countries still can figure it out, but not Western academics and university professors. They don't know their birds and bees or anything like that at all anymore. They've decided to add a whole different set of animals to that kingdom. Susan says, hello from Mississippi. Cocoa does store very well. We mentioned that before, talking about how you can stock up on cocoa and dry powdered milk. That both those things can store very well depending on what kinds you get and everything like that. But cocoa stores very well. I rotate my stock as a rule, but sometimes you miss something. About a year ago, I found a large can of Hershey's cocoa with a best by date of August 2009. So a little past the best by date, which is not an expiration. I opened it and it was fine, no issues. When you start talking about how long can stuff stay canned or just generally stored, as long as it doesn't have any sugar in it, as long as it doesn't have any way that anything that can really grow bacteria or anything like that, you're generally just looking at the oils going rancid. But when it's canned, that usually doesn't happen, especially like Spam in a can. It's not going to go rancid unless it has a seal that gets broken, right? So there's just that. And even if something does go rancid, remember, you can still eat it. You can hold your nose and eat it. Do you want to do that? Probably not. But you can also use it for lighting. You can do it with other things. But there's still plenty of uses for oil that has gone rancid and that kind of thing. It just smells really bad. And you're not going to get as much nutritional value from it. And it might make your tummy a little queasy too. That's for sure too. UJ says, Greenville, Tennessee. That's northeast Tennessee. Went to Big Lots Sunday, rumor that they are in trouble. We talked about that here on this channel as well. Our store has some aisles that were shortened to half. That's not like a little change. Cutting them down by half is kind of a big deal. And some even to one shelf per aisle. That's weird. I mean, like, if you go to Walmart and you go to, like, the area where they have the bins, like the storage bins, and they have, like, the one shelf down there on the floor, and then they have, like, the one shelf up higher for bins, that aisle feels weird as it is. You can just imagine being in Big Lots and having that kind of thing going on. Barely any foot traffic in the store. It's looking like Big Lots is going to implode, but not a whole lot of food, but plenty of products on the shelves. This is from Barb. Hi, Steve. I had whipping cream go bad 2 weeks prior to its expiration date. Purchased in Walmart in Northeast Ohio. Tawna says, what is going on in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania? We're going to give you an update on that. But fireworks canceled, Capitol closed due to threats. I don't know, but strange things being reported. So this is what happened. Apparently they had their 4th of July fireworks display or whatever like that, and 3 people were arrested. They were approached by police after they started launching fireworks into the crowd, which that's not what you're supposed to do. And you're not supposed to go to a fireworks display to use fireworks, and you're definitely not supposed to use them in a crowd, right? And they also happen to be carrying pew-pews, right? No discussion on their skin color, so we know that they aren't looking like me, probably, because that would be top of the article right there. But one younger man, and then another man that was a little older. They took off running when the police approached them. The older man took his pew-pew and threw it off the bridge into the river, but they did recover that, and they got arrested, and police are patting themselves on the back for, stopping some drastic thing that could have happened or something like that. Was that possibly what was happening? I don't know. But from what the discussion is, the fact is that they didn't use their pew-pews on anybody, so there's that. Okay, but that wasn't the only thing that happened in Harrisburg over the holiday weekend. Saturday, the Pennsylvania state capitol was evacuated after a series of bomb threats came in on Saturday. They were emailed that the devices would be triggered if President Biden didn't denounce Israel. Yeah. Why does it just seem to be like just one side of the political spectrum seems to do all of the crime and all of the attacks? The fact is that the most significant right-wing thing that's ever happened is a bunch of people with flags were invited by police into another building, and they walked around and took pictures and selfies, and someone, heaven forbid, put his feet up on one of the legislators' desk. I mean, just absolute chaos and pandemonium. Meanwhile, the left, emails in bomb threats, and it doesn't really make the news. Doesn't make the news at all. So they did this, quote, in the name of Palestine. So, yep. Hey, Joe Biden, you need to rein in your radicals. They're going loony, and they're kind of disrupting things. You know what I mean? So you might want to have a talk to them. Now that AOC and the Muslim terrorist that married her brother in Congress, now that they've fully endorsed you, you can talk to them about it, reining in the crazies. I don't know. Good luck with that. Anyway, and if you don't know who I'm talking about in Congress, Google it. Woman who married her brother who is in Congress. Literally married him. Legally married him. That is absolutely insane. Joan says, Lackawanna County, Pennsylvania. Many times I've had milk go bad just a day or two after purchase, but no off smell and just curdling or bad taste. We talked about that. The milk going bad without actually really smelling bad, which that's just another reason why I don't like milk. If I get a half gallon of milk, it's just like it goes bad before I drink like even a quarter of it. I have the intention of using it. That's why I just use canned milk. That's for the times I want to use milk, I just use canned milk. But they had plenty of time on the sell-by date, but it was just a day or two after purchase that went bad for Joan. Gail says, literally everyone I have talked to cannot get their green beans to germinate or grow. I called Burpee for a refund, and they said that they've been having trouble with their seeds. When the biggest seed companies out there are having trouble with their seeds, what's going on, friends? Like, is that just an accident? Like the fact that all of our food production seems to be under attack right and left, and it just happens to be? Gail says, we planted 4 times before we could get any, and they just don't look right. What is going on out there? Jeffrey says, I've been a beekeeper for 6 years, and last winter it sounded like a lot of people lost their bees. I lost all 3 hives of mine, and they were extremely healthy. When picked up my new bees this spring, I was talking with a lot of other beekeepers, and everyone else lost their bees. Something fishy is happening. I'm in northern Twin Cities, Minnesota. Peggy says, FYI, there are new rules for doctors. If you test over 200 on cholesterol, doctors have to prescribe you a cholesterol medication, whether you need it or not, and whether you use it or not. But they have to prescribe it to you. Wonder who pushed that rule through. Could it possibly be someone with financial interest in this decision? I wonder. Let's see who all those people giving the money to the politicians are. Brett says, Central Indiana, shelves are getting low, but still has almost everything at Kroger. Prices are high, go figure with this great economy, and you always put out great info, so thank you, sir. And thank you all for contributing great information out there. Please keep it coming. We will see you guys again later. If you want to check out another video from his channel, there's one right up here. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold, you can just tap the screen right there. We'll open up a form. You fill out your information, they'll reach out and contact you. No obligation whatsoever. Just they'll reach out to you and you talk to them if you want to. All right, friends. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.